Have you ever wondered why your body reacts before your brain can catch up? Why you panic even when you know you're safe? Or why memories of the past feel like they're happening right now? This isn't weakness, it's neuroscience. In this video, we're going to explore how trauma literally changes the brain. We'll look at 3 key regions the research focuses on: the amygdala, the prefrontal cortex, and the hippocampus. And I'll share findings from studies that help explain why trauma survivors experience the world so differently. Most importantly, I'll show you why there is real hope. The brain can heal. Trauma isn't just a memory. It's an experience that rewires your nervous system. When we experience something overwhelming, our body activates fight, flight, or freeze. If the body doesn't fully process or release that stress, the brain adapts in ways that keep us on high alert. Dr. Bessel Kolk in The Body keeps the score describes trauma as a disruption of brain networks, and research backs this up. Brain scans of trauma survivors consistently show differences in 3 areas: the amygdala, the prefrontal cortex, and the hippocampus. The amygdala is like the brain's smoke detector. It scans for danger. After trauma, the amygdala becomes hyperactive, sounding alarms even when you're safe. Research highlight. A 2004 Harvard study using fMRI scans found that people with PTSD showed significantly greater amygdala activation when exposed to trauma-related images compared to people without PTSD. This explains why trauma survivors can feel panic, dread, or anger out of nowhere. The amygdala is acting as if danger is always present, even in safe environments. So if you've ever jumped at a loud sound or felt your body tense up with no clear reason, that's your amygdala doing its job, just on overdrive. The prefrontal cortex is the part of the brain that helps us plan, stay calm, and regulate emotions. In trauma, this part often goes offline. It's like losing the brakes on a car. That's why trauma survivors often say, "I knew I was safe, but my body didn't feel safe." Logically, they understood there was no danger, but the prefrontal cortex couldn't calm the amygdala's alarms. Research highlight. Studies show that during flashbacks or high-stress states, trauma survivors often show reduced prefrontal activation on brain scans. This means the part of the brain that helps put the brakes on fear literally isn't stepping in. This explains why just telling yourself to calm down or move on rarely works. The thinking brain is disconnected from the emotional brain. The hippocampus helps us put memories in context. It says, "That was then, this is now." Trauma can shrink and dysregulate the hippocampus. Research highlight. A 1995 Yale study found that people with PTSD had a 5 to 10% smaller hippocampus than those without trauma. This doesn't mean trauma destroys memory. It means memories don't get processed correctly. That's why traumatic memories feel fragmented, vivid, or like they're happening in the present moment. The hippocampus isn't organizing the memory into the past. So when a smell, sound, or image triggers you, it's not just a reminder, it's a re-experience, because the hippocampus hasn't filed it away properly. Put these 3 changes together and here's what you get. A hyperactive amygdala, constantly scanning for danger. A prefrontal cortex that can't step in to regulate emotions. A hippocampus that struggles to put memories in the past. This creates a brain that lives in survival mode, even when the danger is long gone. And this is why trauma survivors aren't weak. They're living with brains that have been rewired by survival. The most important thing I want you to take away is this. These brain changes are not permanent. The brain is plastic. It can change. Research shows that trauma-focused therapies like EMDR, somatic experiencing, yoga, and mindfulness can actually help rebalance brain function. EMDR has been shown to reduce amygdala activity while increasing prefrontal regulation. Yoga and mindfulness practices increase activity in the prefrontal cortex, helping the thinking brain reconnect with the emotional brain. Safe relationships and therapy help the hippocampus reprocess and refile traumatic memories as past events instead of current threats. Healing takes time, but the science is clear. Your brain can recover. If you found this helpful, hit the like button. It helps YouTube share this with others who need this information. Drop it in the comments if you learned something new today. And subscribe to Denver Therapy Online for more trauma-informed insights and tools from The Body Keeps the Score. Remember, trauma changes the brain, but healing reshapes it. Your story is not finished.